our guest, Jason Chaffetz, has a new book out, The Deep State, How an Army of Bureaucrats Protected Barack Obama and is Working to Destroy the Trump Agenda. His book talks about government agencies being weaponized in the service of political battles. Go on then, Jason.
It really is amazing. There is a concerted, brazen event that these people are getting together to take down the Donald Trump agenda. They don't do so with, tinfoil hats in secret off in some corner. They actually go out, they release classified information. Mm-hmm. They do these anonymous op-eds and share information that shouldn't be out there. They simply just ignore what the president will say and not do it. I mean, you just had President Trump say, let's go ahead and release these FISA documents and these text messages unredacted, but of course none of that happened, and because the deep state will push back. They don't want anything to happen. So in the book I detail everything from the EPA and the Department of Interior to the Department of Justice, the State Department, and others, Homeland Security. They will do anything so that they don't have accountability and they can just do what they see fit. They don't want to be held accountable.
That's right. I mean, honestly, what I actually like about the Woodward book and the anonymous op-ed and now this business with Rosenstein is that it kind of confirms what we've been saying. I mean, our friend Dana Perino, she kind of slightly teases us about the deep state. She kind of jokes that we're overdoing it. But honestly, it's almost daily we're seeing evidence that it's there, and they really are trying to undermine the president.
Look, it doesn't matter what you want to call it. If you want to call it the deep state, if you want to call it a shadow government, we are seeing the implications here. There's been a major paradigm shift, and they are uncomfortable with it. They weren't expecting it. They picked their candidate. They wanted Hillary Clinton to win, and she did not win. So whatever backdoor deals were done, guaranteeing that she was going to win, they are now off the table, and this makes them tremendously uncomfortable. There's an earthquake in D.C., and people that have had power for a very long time are not going to let go of it easily.
Yes, that's the crucial point. They hate the threat to their power. What do you think we can do about it?
Well, you're just to pile on there, they don't want a disruptive personality like Donald Trump who's going to hold them accountable. Yes. And so, in part, Congress has to stand up for itself. If you're investigating the Department of Justice, as Devin Nunes and the House Judiciary and the Oversight Committee have been doing, they have to go to the Department of Justice to get a subpoena fully enforced. That is fundamentally wrong. As chairman of the Oversight Committee, I could issue a subpoena. Then they had to turn it over to the Department of Justice, and they'd look at it and say, no, I don't think we're going to do that.
Wow.
That's not a co-equal branch of government. The Congress has to stand up for itself.
So, I mean, but are there any specific reforms that you would
absolutely this whole concept of inherent contempt, the ability to, if you actually hold somebody in contempt, to actually be able to enforce that. For the very first time in the history of the United States, we held Eric Holder in contempt of Congress, and a couple weeks later he's back testifying on Capitol Hill as if nothing happened. You got to starve the beast. You got to be able to fire federal employees.
I agree with that.
If they don't pay their taxes, you got to be able to fire them. We don't collect about $1 billion in taxes each year from federal employees. They get paid by the federal taxpayers, they don't pay their taxes, and they keep working at the federal government.
I think we should do some kind of double. I so agree with this deep state stuff. My plan was to unmask the deep state and then fire them, and then we know what we're doing. All right, out of time on that one.